Hello and welcome back to the News Project Live on GNAT-TV's Facebook page. I'm Andrew McKeever, the News Director at GNAT-TV's News Project. Today is Friday, August 6th, and we're glad to have you with us today. We're going to start today up in Montpelier, where on Tuesday the governor had they're now once a week on Tuesdays, generally starting at around noon. And most of it was about masking rules that will be involved with schools reopening in a few weeks, I suppose. About to say in September, but some will be opening in later in August. And with the increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases from the Delta variant spreading around the state, the Scott administration announced on Tuesday that students in grades kindergarten through 12, as well as the teachers and staff, should start the new year wearing masks. The state will recommend that schools can drop those mask mandates for students and employees once 80% of eligible students in a given school have started vaccination. That would be kids 12 years and older. Students who are 12 and under and still not eligible for vaccinations should keep on masking, the official said, and as well as unvaccinated staff and unvaccinated students above 12. Right now, we have about 65% of students in the 12 to 15-year-old bracket who are at least partially vaccinated, as are 72.5% of all 16 and 17-year-olds. Um, when asked about how would these rules impact fall sports, officials there at the press conference said it was too early to tell. So we'll stay tuned for that. Obviously, that's an item of great issue for many folks. Um, Turning to a related note on vaccine clinics, the governor and his officials also announced that there'll be a new series of new walk-in vaccination clinics that will be opened at schools across Vermont next week. You can either just walk in or you can visit the state's health department website. That's at healthvermont.gov/myvaccine to guarantee a spot and by making an appointment online or by the phone. Two of those clinics will be local. On Tuesday, August 10th, there'll be one at the Manchester Elementary Middle School in Manchester, and then on Thursday, August 12th, another clinic will be held at Burn Academy. So those of you who are still waiting to get a vaccine, you might want to check one of those out. In terms of numbers of cases, we had 88 new cases as of yesterday, according to the Health Department's website. That compares to 62 cases the day before. We have 12 Vermonters in the hospital compared to 11 the day before, and 8 of them are in the ICU compared to 6 the day before. We're almost up to 85% of Vermonters receiving at least one dose. That still puts us in first place across the country. And almost 78% of Vermonters are fully vaccinated. In Bennington County, all of that translates into one new case as of yesterday, 31 in the past 2 weeks. Chittenden County up north continues to, no surprise there, really be the leader in that dubious category. 22 new cases there as of yesterday and 232 over the past 2 weeks. Our neighbors over in Windham County showing 2 new cases yesterday and 19 in the last 2 weeks. So the struggle continues. Turning to the big event of last week, a week ago Thursday, had a little bit of rainfall in this area here in Manchester, Arlington, Dorset, causing some flash flooding and significant property damage in some places, as well as making a few streets impassable and local flooding conditions in several spots. Basically, a lot of that has now been cleaned up. Rootville Road in Manchester is still under reconstruction, I guess one could say. Got really significant damage there, but looks like that's mostly on the way to being fixed up. Turning to more local news, the Southern Vermont Communications Union District, which is the CUD that has been formed to help bring modern levels of broadband service to underserved areas in Bennington County, has signed a memorandum of understanding, I should say, with Consolidated Communications. That's the internet and telephone company. It's been providing service across the state and across northern New England for the past several years. They are going to try to work together to come up with a successful application for some federal funding through what's known as an NTIA grant. That's short for National Telecommunications and Information Administration. And that money, if approved, will go to help pay for the design and deployment of fiber optic cable to all addresses in the CUD that currently do not have access to modern internet service. Now, that money will be separate from the better known ARPA money, or American Rescue Plan Act, that the state will also be distributing to CUDs around the state. So we'll be following that important story as it goes along. Before I forget to mention, I just wanted to note that if you wanted to get more information on some of these items that we're discussing today, you can go to our comments section here on the Facebook page, and there you're going to find some links and more information that you can use to kind of get additional information about some of these pieces. Manchester Journal is reporting that last week a $250,000 challenge grant from the Drunzik Family Foundation was announced to help construct the downtown footbridge over the west branch of the Battenkill, part of the Riverwalk there. That's been a project underway for the past couple of years. Drunzik family has stepped up with a $500,000 challenge grant that'll kick in when other donations are received. The grand total of the cost of the footbridge is reckoned to be about $800,000. And if the money can be collected, that installation might begin next year or possibly in 2023, depending on how quickly the funds can be raised. So that would be quite a nice addition to that walk. I'm sure many of you have enjoyed it. And that tree that is across the river that enables you to go from one side of the bank of the west branch of the Battenkill to the other, well, let's just say, hopefully you have better balance than I do. It looks kind of intimidating. So a bridge would be great. Also, just wanted to briefly mention in passing the whole saga around the Slate Ridge shooting school in West Paulet. Also got back in the news again a couple of weeks ago. The Vermont Supreme Court has affirmed a lower court's decision to issue a protective order against Daniel Banyai, who owns the shooting facility in West Paulet. It was granted to Banyai's neighbor, Mandy Hewlett, who had sought the anti-stalking order against Banyai last December after receiving what she perceived to be several threatening Facebook posts. That, of course, has been a long-running saga up in West Paulet with that shooting range. A lot of back and forth and legal issues involved there. Those of you who might want to dig a little deeper into that might want to go take a listen to a podcast done by This American Life. It's out this week. That's part of National Public Radio. Definitely worth a listen. It's about the whole shooting range and Banyai saga that goes back now almost 10 years. On a somewhat lighter note, tomorrow, Saturday, August 7th, Blues Festival will be coming to the Arkell Pavilion at the Southern Vermont Arts Center in Manchester. The concert will start at 12 noon, and there'll be 4 bands that will be performing. Let's see, the Alexis P. Suter Band will be starting things off, and the Bruce Katz Band, the James Armstrong Band, and it finishes up with the Johnny Rolls Band coming on stage at 4:30. So that sounds like that should be a whole lot of fun. Tickets are now on sale through the SVAC website. That's the Southern Vermont Arts Center website. The box office will be open tomorrow at 11 a.m. and general admission tickets will cost $40 on the day of the performance. Representative Linda Joy Sullivan also got back in the news with the announcement that she's been appointed as a receiver to help dissolve the former Coffee Cup Bakery's remaining assets. Coffee Cup owned the Vermont Bread Company facility in Brattleboro, and as well as bakeries in Burlington and elsewhere in Connecticut. Shut down somewhat unexpectedly in late April, and Representative Sullivan was appointed to act as a receiver to help wind up the Coffee Cup entities and distribute the surplus assets, which include cash proceeds from the sale of the assets to Flowers Foods, which bought them, as well as other claims that Coffee Cup may have. So an important job there. And we'll finish on a fun note. I think many of us have been following the Olympic accomplishments of Elle Purrier St. Pierre. She's a Vermonter who made the U.S. Olympic team and has been over in Tokyo competing in the Olympics there. Her big race was the 1,500 women's meters run. She got off to a fast start at the race that happened yesterday, but wound up finishing in 10th place out of about 13 people in the field. But nevertheless, great accomplishment, great inspirational story. Her time was just a fraction over 4 minutes. So great job, Elle. And I'm sure we haven't heard the last of her achievements yet on the running track. So again, you can find more information on all these segments and stories either in the comments section here on our Facebook page, or you can go to our website at GNAT-TV.org. There you'll also find a community survey we're doing at the current moment. It's right there on our homepage. It would be great if you could fill that out. It only takes a few minutes. Give us some ideas on what we are doing well and where we could do better. That's important information that we want to know. Also, if you or your organization are planning any special events, we've set up a special events page to help you spread the word on that. You can send your email to events@gnat-tv.org. So that'll do it for today. Again, I'm Andrew McKeever, the news director at GNAT TV's News Project. Been a pleasure being with you today. Hope you're all having a wonderful day and looking forward to a nice weekend. Take care, and we'll see you next Friday.